Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
This town needs an enema.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Bringing John right in on it. How you doing tonight, John?
I'm good. Why did you bring me right in like that?
Why not?
Because I haven't shaved and I've been wearing a headset playing a video game and it's lumped down my hair again.
You ain't shaved. I ain't shaved in a few weeks. And before we we'll go ahead and play this, and when this is over, there'll be somebody we've sorely missed.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hey,
How
Dave.
did I know that was coming?
Because Joe hasn't changed any of his jokes since '89.
Yeah.
1789.
Hey, I'm not done shaving yet.
All right, fine.
Bring him back on when he's ready.
Oh,
Oh, we got a crowd in. Kiri's here. Donna's here. Carl's here.
Sarah's here.
Sarah's here. How are y'all doing tonight?
For those of you watching this show on like YouTube or Facebook or any of the other, StreamYard has a chat room off to the side. There's two of them. There's the comments chat where we can see anybody that's commenting from YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. And we have a private chat for people that are actually on the screen right now. So, and yes, we got this big block of StreamYard users telling us hi. Now, this funny thing is, they can't all see each other unless the YouTubers can't see the Facebookers, and unless you're on the same YouTube channel. Because I think we got 2 YouTubes, a Twitch, and 5 Facebooks going right now. So,
And whoever Facebook user is, hello.
yeah. Unless you give. Let me see.
There's a thingy you can click on.
Hit the crawl.
There it is, right there. Okay, yeah.
StreamYard.com/Facebook.
Read fast because it goes by. Dashing through the text.
And got a Keisha A Cuff Heart of Love. Thank you, Keisha.
Oh,
I've had fun today. I've been installing security cams around the house.
Inside or outside?
Outside. Where is
Chris,
Chris?
Chris is
at work.
usually at work.
Yeah. If he shows up, he'll show up late.
Yep.
Somebody's got to earn the money. Not going to be me.
It's gonna be me in the morning. Joe, may I explain why I've been absent?
If you wish, here.
Folks, because we are down two quality control people at work, they transferred me back to shift temporarily so that I could help train people. This previous week, I'm hoping it's temporary, but this past week, I worked a 72-hour shift, 7 days in a row, and I was extremely burnt out by the end of it because I worked 3 days and then 4 nights, and then I think I slept all day Monday and didn't get anything done. Got up early enough Tuesday to start getting stuff done. Got up early enough yesterday to go, I need an emergency green room. Donna and Carl were so, thankfully, they were not upset by this, and I got to talk to some of the friends that I missed. Not everybody was there because it's not the usual day of the week for a green room, but John was there, Carl was there, Donna was there. It was fun. It was what I needed.
Yeah.
But here we go. I'm on day shift this week, so I will be unavailable again until Monday evening, basically. I might make the green room tomorrow night. I'm planning to, but I will be there late because they will start before I get off from work, and I still have to drive home. So there. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, that reminded me of my old job. I came in, worked first shift on Friday, got off at 3, went back at 11 for a third shift.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Bring your mic in a little closer.
Is that better?
No, can't see you.
Looks
it. Might
better.
be better. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we're not 12 at all.
On Friday, I worked first shift. Friday evening, I went back for a third shift. Saturday morning, when I got off, I went home, went to bed, came back for second shift on Saturday, and then came back and did a third shift on Sunday. So yeah, I didn't like that.
No, that's pretty much too close together. There's no recovery time.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hope you got paid good for that.
Yes, Donna, creating the green room last night was entirely up to you, and I am so grateful. And that counts. I suppose. Yes, for newlyweds, this is what you got to look forward to after mumble decades. Yeah, Lindsay and I are hurting that now, so. We still have not been able to turn the dog back over to her rightful parents.
I think you've adopted a dog and just didn't know it.
I thought you did adopt him.
No.
I thought Lindsay decided that.
She has, and she's undecided it several times and redecided it several times, and it just depends on what she has to clean up today. But no,
But she cleans up after you.
No, she doesn't. I clean up after myself.
Oh,
I'm an
Well, then-
adult. I mean,
you clean up after the dog then.
when I have to, yeah. When Lindsay's sleeping and the dog does something that needs to be cleaned up, and I'm Johnny on the spot, you better believe I'll clean up after the dog.
Joe, have you posted that last comment by Donna yet?
No, I was just going to ignore it.
Okay. Because there's a story there. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not telling.
Yeah. I'm getting notifications just constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on.
You run way too many web pages, and I mean, well, you got 3 HallowCon's, a couple stupid o'clocks.
Yeah.
I know on my tablet, if I've not been on it for a few days, as soon as I get on, all the last 3 or 4 days, notifications all pop up.
You look like you hit the jackpot on a nickel slot.
It's notification autumn.
I need to figure out how I can turn off a lot of notifications that I've been getting. Every time I start up my browser, it's like the first half hour is just people notifications everywhere about stuff that I'm going, yeah, I wasn't there, but thank you for telling me. Only one in about 7 or something I actually want to know.
Yeah, not a lot of my friends and family are daywalkers. And I have my phone set so that it automatically goes into Do Not Disturb at 11 p.m. Central, and starts coming back online at 5 a.m. Central. So about 5:01 in the morning, all of a sudden, ding, 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 and Misty gets pissed because, of course, she's laying in bed next to me. She's like, what's with all that? I'm like, because of the Do Not Disturb, everything's coming through now.
Instead of doing that, just turn the volume down.
It doesn't work.
Well, I have my phone
Does
set
on
up
mine. You go into settings, it will.
So that if you call back twice within 15 minutes, it'll actually ring through to my phone, unless you're one of the special few that get a favorite. And then doesn't matter what time of day, like, Misty and Crow and Brittany, our middle child, and Zach, my oldest. If any of them call, well, mom and dad when they were alive, when they called, that would immediately get through, 24/7. So.
Oh. I'm checking the security cams. Okay, that's what I thought I was going to have to do. All right. This is the first time I've looked at them in the dark.
Not touching that line.
I'm guessing he's still talking about security cameras.
Yeah.
And not the neighbor's window.
Depends on where he's got the
I was going to say,
cameras pointed.
He never said where he was pointing those security cameras.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
If you go online, you can find these old. You're looking for military vehicle infrared headlights, and the only difference between a regular military vehicle headlight and an infrared headlight is they change the glass out in the front of it.
I have 2. I have not put them on my vehicle because they're this big around.
Well, the ones for the APCs are only about this big around. So. But and those are the ones we always used in Iraq because we had them in our supply chain. But if you can find the headlights are nice, but they're 24 volt. But if you can get just the filtered lens, you can put that. They should go over most fog lamps or flood lamps.
Now, I did do a search for infrared fog lights do not show a regular light. They just put
All
the
right, right. That's why you
infrared.
want. That's why you want the filters.
No, they just show the infrared. They don't show light. You can't.
Right. That's
You can look at them and you don't see them. They don't show
that's just
a
an
big red
easy.
light on the front of the vehicle.
The filters for the military lamps. The only way you can actually see them when they're lit up is if you stick your eyeball and squirt your eyeball, and then you can see the filament inside the filter.
Mm.
Or what we did was put your hand over it if you can feel the heat coming off of it. You know, it's
I think the ones I got from Army surplus are so old they're just regular headlights with a red lens,
that's yeah, pretty much.
so that they look like a brake light from the front, which is a bad thing to do in traffic. But they evidently they are making infrared LED fog lights that will light up the road for an infrared camera at night and will not be visible to anybody coming at you in traffic. I mean, it's I looked at them, but somehow I don't think I really need to pay $250 for a set of fog lights. I mean, sure, it'll let me see a deer at 100 yards as it glows in the dark in front of my camera, which I happened to have on at the time. Wouldn't be able to see it through the windshield. What I need is an IR windshield.
What's that one commercial that they got on now called? It's another one of those bulb head commercials. It's for a rear view mirror, and I think they call it Angel Wings or whatever. And it's supposed to, it's like a big wraparound one that supposed to show the blind spots and everything. And of course, like everything else that they've advertised recently, you have a limit of 3 because we could be selling out of this and not making them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I've actually seen those. Those have been out for a while, just as mirrors, and they are indeed huge. And they're staged. If you look at it at the right angle, you can actually see the space between one mirror and the next because they're at different angles, so that they can cover the entire blind spot. I found that a standard backup camera with a little teeny tiny monitor about the same size as a GPS screen, it eliminates a blind spot just as well as this huge mirror that you have to put all the way across the windshield of your car on the inside. There has been many a time I have been on my way to a convention. I see somebody whizzing up behind me in the camera and in the rearview mirror. They disappear in the rearview mirror, but I can still see them in the camera. When they disappear from the camera, I can see their front fender out the window. They're right there. By the time they get past the camera, they're already in view.
That's the way I got my truck set up. I can see the entire back bumper of my truck.
Yeah. Now, what I would really like to have is one that isn't the wide angle view pointing forward with the infrared. So deer in the headlights happens a whole lot quicker in the night time out here in the middle of nowhere, rather than waiting for the regular vehicle headlights to touch them. You'd be able to see them with the camera.
Those are the ones I was talking about. I put them in private chat. They do have cheap ones that you can get, like, Walmart specials. But
no, I
for
looked
security cameras.
Well, yeah. The ones I looked up were military grade, which is why they were over $200. It was from a company that bragged that they made stuff for the Army and the Marines. So
No,
I
deer
don't
do
know.
not see infrared. They actually see in the other direction. Deer can see ultraviolet. That's why you're not supposed to use fabric brighteners when you wash your hunting clothes.
Oh,
UV brighteners will make your camouflage stand out.
that's good to know. Not that I deer hunt, but
I'm going to get those right there, John, because I used to use those when I was doing the ghost hunting. I could light up an entire church with that
Now
rascal.
that's the whole lamp. That's the headlight with the filter. You can get just that glass filter, but they're designed to go in that headlamp, so you have to modify it for whatever else you want to put in.
Yeah, but if you look at what I just posted up, and that's a fairly good price on those things.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I used 3 of those and lit up Patton Chapel.
That's the one I was just talking about, that $27 one. But there's a smaller one actually. If you, they've got one that's like $20. That one has 8 LEDs. I can't remember what the other one had. It was 5 or something. It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, Carl's asking, so deer see in infrared.
John already answered that. Yeah.
No, they see.
They don't. They see in the ultraviolet further
Right.
than we do. I guess that's the same sort of reason that dogs don't really see in color that well, or the bullfighters. The bull doesn't see a red cape; he just sees the motion of the cape.
Yeah.
Their eyes are structured differently, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that is true in both directions for lots of different animals. A lot of them may see further into the infrared. A lot of them may see further into the ultraviolet. When you really look at it, we've got a very, very narrow range of frequencies we can see in.
There's a show on Disney Plus that was done by National Geographic called Supernatural. And they show a bunch of cool things where basically various animals have a superpower, if you will. There is a lizard who, again, has that same thing where they see higher in the ultraviolet, so colors pop out because their chief predator is a bird that has very bright plumage. So when they see that, it helps them a lot. But the secret power of that one was it traps air in its scales. So what it'll do is it'll dive underwater, and then through contractions that it can do, it starts moving all of these air bubbles towards its head, and it basically acts kind of like an aqua lung for it, so it can stay underwater for 18 minutes or so, till the bird's like, screw this, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, and I believe it's pit vipers have 2 infrared sensors on their nose below their eyes.
They're just below their eyes, yeah. It's the
Pythons
entire
and boas
family.
also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any variety of.
Yeah.
They call them pit vipers because of the 2 little pits, basically. But it's a
Gives them
wide
IR,
range
yeah.
of snakes. But yeah, it's an infrared sensor basically, and
Peacock shrimp, I think it is, also has the ability to see, because they've got a abnormal, I can't remember if it's they've got more cones in their eye or more rods in their eye, which will again allow them to pick up different frequencies of light and stuff like that. So it's amazing what is possible out there through biology, and how really limited mankind is in a lot of things.
yeah, we don't compared to animals. We don't see that well. We don't hear that well. We can't smell worth a shit. I mean, our nose compared to a dog's nose, we're in the dust there.
After attending a Gen Con or 5, actually a Gen Con or like 12,
That may not be a bad thing, huh?
I'm kind of happy. I don't have that range of scent. Although it's what's really wild is watching a cat scent, because they'll open their mouth a little bit and then they'll draw the air in over their tongue to taste it. And this is your tabby that's sitting right outside. Yes, I know you're out there, Barry. You're plotting. I can feel it. Actually, funny thing is, I did see him just walk by following Misty out of the corner of the door. But also, tigers and lions do that as well, and that's really cool, and allows them to smell for miles as well.
You wonder what that looks like in their brain. Do they actually see the scent trails, like little traces of fog or something?
That's
If
the
we
way
could-
it's depicted in a lot of visual media, and I would love to know. I'd love to experience a lot of things that these animals experience, because it's just so freaking wild. No pun intended. The extra sensitivity of the eardrum in some creatures, and it's and everything is built almost perfectly to do really weird crap, like the bombardier beetle.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not going to go there.
I know he wasn't the fifth Beatle.
No, that was the piano player.
Billy Preston.
That's the one. Yes, thank you. I suddenly had a senior moment. I knew who the guy was. I could see his face. I couldn't say his name.
If you think about it, Ringo Starr was really the fifth Beatle.
Well, yeah, because you wound up. Pete was in there, and then Ringo came in too. So many things.
Yes, folks, we've gone from talking about bugs to 60s rock music in a
Never know
heartbeat.
where this show's going to go.
It's like life. You never know what we're going to say. Hell, we don't know what we're going to say half the time.
We took the right at Albuquerque.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know something that somebody's going to say.
Hey, Dan, when you said we don't know what we're going to say, hell, sometimes we're so surprised at what we said.
That I will class as a different sort of senior moment. Did I say that? Did I say that out loud? Now, Bill, you got to tell me where you got a little action figure of the Fonz doing Dracula.
This is actually a 1976 Mego Fonzie action figure with working thumbs up activity. See, he's got this thing protruding from the back of his leather jacket. I think it's cancerous, but Mego says that's to operate the thumbs up activity there. But, yeah. Pulled him out of the closet.
Okay.
No,
that's
green room pun intended.
That's kind of frightening that I recognized an action figure. Especially one that obscure in the action figure line, not the character themselves being obscure, but
Well, 1976, I mean, they had everything Happy Days, and you had, I got a Richie around here somewhere. Couldn't find him yet, but they did Potsy.
I did not know that.
He might be in the closet too. You never know.
No, I'm not closeted. I'm exactly what I say I am.
No, Mego did it right with the licensing.
Ah,
I
okay.
mean,
Glad you
before
also
pointed
Mego-
that out.
had, Mork and Mindy's action figures too.
yeah, they did. I never bought one, but I bought a lot of the other ones. I had all the Planet of the Apes ones and Star Trek, and of course all the world's greatest superheroes. That's what made their money.
I saw something I was shopping and I saw something I
friend
thought
had all
you would
those.
absolutely love, but now I can't remember what it is.
What it is.
Or what it was.
But it is what it was and what it shall be.
Well,
Yeah.
it shall be
What's that?
unbought by me because I didn't pick one up because I thought, hey, this is something that Bill would really love. And now I don't remember what it was that I saw. But it was in the toy department, so
You didn't even think to pick it up for me.
I figured if you needed it, you would know about it. But long before I see it. I mean, seriously, I don't go shopping that often. I don't walk through the toy department that often. It just so happened that this time it was on the way from automotive to gardening, and I took a shortcut through the toy department.
I mean, rarely anything new in the toy department that comes out now really makes me do a second look. When I bought the little cutesy Batmobile, that's the first thing I bought brand new like that for a long time. And I'm actually looking to get rid of some stuff, and I've been researching some sold prices on some things that I have, like a 1986 mail-in Clark Kent Superpowers action figure. Right now, just the loose figure is in the 3 digits.
No,
These are sold prices too. And mine, it was a mail-in deal back in the day when you got it. It didn't come on a card like all the other Superpower figures. It came in a little white mailing box. If you had the mailing box, well, without the mailing box, most of the sold prices are right around about $110 to $125. With the original box, you can add about $40 onto that and it's a white box, people. I mean, but it was the original box that came from Kenner.
I'm sorry, Bill. If I'm going to spend 3 figures on something, it's probably going to be a sheet of plywood.
Well, thing is, there are plenty of people that are because
plywood, yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are because it's either something that they had when they were a kid that they don't have anymore, or something they wanted when they were a kid, and now they have the opportunity to get it because now they have the money.
Apparently, I have other things that require my money more strenuously than trinkets and beads. HallowCon table. And Lindsay's starting to freak out. It's only a couple of weeks to HallowCon, and she still has no idea how she's going to display the steampunk costumes that she wants to sell. And I'm going, honey, I can unload that clothes rack. You don't need a dress form. You just need some coat hangers, which we've got. You need this rack, which we can, large or small, it doesn't matter. We can expand it or contract it. How much stuff are you going to take?
Is it round or a 4-way rack, or what kind is it?
No, it's just a linear. It's like if you took the rail out of a closet and put legs on it and wheels, that's exactly what it is. Except it goes out to like 12 feet, or it shrinks down to about 3 feet. It just depends on what she's wanting to take. Um,
Well, too late for this year, but next year, think about this. Think about some local auctions or flea markets and things where people are buying out old businesses and all their racks
mm,
and
well, I mean,
whatnot. Stuff that's
I've
gone out. I've got 4 of them that I got from my little sister Jenny that are the they come from some woman's clothing store, and the 4-way ones come at a slant, and they have the little balls that you can hang each one, so it keeps them separate.
mm,
And that
now I've got 2 of the really large expandable clothes racks that costumes are on right now. I've got one that is basically it only goes to about 3 feet wide, which I think is what we really need to take. Um,
hmm
and just hey, if you sell everything that can be stuffed on that rack, then we'll take it to next year, okay? Somebody's going to want it. And then there's always the ones like my mom had back when I was a kid to hang laundry on, which is like a triangular uh, piece on the floor, a pole going up, and another pole that set out sideways, and it works just like a closet, except it's open air. And I can get those at the grocery store. You know, $20, maybe 30 at the most. The
Well,
the the important thing is she's going into panic mode, just like Joe. It's close to the convention. What am I gonna do? Yep. So they have that in common.
Yeah, well, one reason I'm sort of out of it tonight is Donna had to have a sleep study last night,
Oh,
and the thing is, I had to pick her up at 5:30 this morning.
that's rather early.
Yeah, so I've been awake since 5:30.
mm,
I didn't go to bed till after midnight because I had to shut down the online registration. So I just basically had a nap.
how many total did you get when you shut it down?
Uh, we're looking at a head count of. That's, where is it? Give me just a minute. I will tell you how many we have coming this year with pre-registered, pre-made badges is 140.
It's a good number.
And these are willing victims. I mean, participants.
And I figure we're probably going to do about 30 to 45 walk-ups.
Mm.
So, you know,
That's not bad. I mean,
Yep.
considering you've got what your maximum ever desired membership is like 300.
yeah.
After that, you got to get a new hotel.
Yeah.
Now, did you surpass last year's pre-registration?
By hold on a minute.
I ask him all these hard questions.
We had 115 last year.
Wow.
So yes, we have improved.
That's awesome.
I'm happy.
Well, given how much fun it was, I mean, last year was my first one, and I had a blast. I mean, if you can get there, and it is your kind of con, Why wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, if you can spare
I
the
can't wait
cash,
till
which
next
is
year.
not much, no, we can't wait either. It'll be so much fun.
Not just me, but me and Mike Jimmy.
Oh yes,
We could have a live Last Man Standing.
we're gonna have a live lots of things. Yes.
Live last man standing. That's called sitting out on the patio, right, Dan?
No, no, that's called. We're waiting for Dan to fall asleep because he's sitting too close to that bottle of liquor.
Yeah,
Oh,
last year was
yeah, Kiri, it was so much fun seeing you there. I hope you can come again. Really, it was so much fun. Even though we didn't get to spend very much time together, we did get to say hello and talk a little bit. That was very special.
what, what I want to know is why is Mike Jimmy coming from so far away? Is he going to be in the States anyway, or is he making a special trip?
Now that I don't know.
Nor I.
Carl
Yeah,
goes, okay, well, I guess he's coming to see Carl. All right.
yeah, okay. Ah, hey, anytime you get to hang out with Donna and Carl and the rest of the Hee Haw gang here, it's got to be
I
a
got to
good
do that
time.
on Saturday.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
I doubt he's going to show up unless you got a Ouija board.
Well, if he shows up, I'm out the door.
Especially with Loretta Lynn now.
Yeah.
It is HallowCon, so, you got the right theme.
Mm.
I better not have to pack the emergency kit.
Does that include adrenaline?
No, that's
Uh,
just Fritos and 7-Up.
Lots of salt and fire and books on exorcism.
I hope you don't either.
Yeah, really. The only salt you're going to need is for dinner, but
Yeah. See,
you need 3 days worth.
Well, I can get a little salty sometimes.
I
The way
think
he
we
drives,
could.
it might be vehicular assault.
John, why do you do this to me?
Assault and battery?
Assault with a battery, yes. That's when you smack somebody upside the head with the
With a car
copper
battery.
top. Yeah.
Oh, oh, that one movie, Children of Men, where the security guard's chasing him and he kicks the door open, crawls through and it's stuck because there's garbage outside of it. As he squeezes through the little slot in the door he'd left, and as he's running away, you can hear the guy right behind him getting ready to come to that same door. He looks down, and then that big pile of garbage is a car battery. He picks it up, and as the guy sticks his head through the door, and wasn't chased anymore.
Yeah, several pounds of lead acid battery is a fairly good. Shall I perpetrate? Shall I perpetrate the pun? A battering ram, yeah.
Shocking experience.
Heavens. No, there were no cables involved. Just a blunt impact.
Trauma can cause shock. Not electrical shock, but still shock.
Yeah, well. Would say it opened his eyes, but it probably closed them. Oh. Yeah. Thank you, Carl. There's sure to be an assortment of that. Yes.
Good spirits.
Hmm. Oh, that's a good question, Kiri. I do not have the faintest idea. No, I haven't. Has anybody?
What's
John, probably. Um, I mean, you're the closest we've got to a globetrotter here right now.
I went to a concert in Nuremberg, and I stayed at a little hostel called Hostel Sunshine, which I thought was one hell of a suntan. But but it was kind of interesting. They usually don't have a bathroom in the room. It's down the hall. Everybody on that floor has to share a couple bathrooms.
Hmm.
It's usually just a room with a table and a bed. And they give you a key to lock yourself in and out of the room. That's it. I mean, there's usually not even the telephone. They have a payphone down the hall kind of thing.
It sounds like a 1930s boarding house, actually.
18, 17, 16, 15, 30s boarding house might be a little bit
Okay.
more accurate, depending on which city you're in. But the one I stayed in, it was nice and clean. The only thing that was weird about it was they had the feather decker beds, which is this little twin bed. In this case, it was a twin bed. Mattress is kind of thin, but the blanket you're sleeping under is a goose down, feather down blanket that's about 6 inches thick.
So basically, lay on
It's
the
like-
blanket and cover yourself with the mattress.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and it's not a big blanket. It doesn't hang off the side. It barely covers the whole mattress.
Yeah, but it's still eider down. That stuff insulates really well.
But it wants to slide off all damn, and you know, and
Oh.
I don't even toss and turn that much, and it kept wanting to go off into the floor in the middle of the night. They don't weigh anything, so
Yeah.
you know,
Obviously, you've never
you
had a
fart
water
in the
bed
wrong
with
key and
satin
the blanket
sheets.
goes away. You know, it's,
I want to ask Kiri, are you going to the crash pad or the chat in? Because there's two of them down there.
Crash pad.
Okay, crash pad. All right, that's what I needed to know. It's
the European con. Which when we're at?
What scares me is Joe Dog knows about it.
There's that one down there by the Choo Choo.
Oh, it's in Chattanooga. Okay, I thought, who has he been stalking in Europe?
I've made some Europeans hostile.
I tried to get
That's not hard.
icons in Europe when I was stationed there, and it just never failed. Every weekend that they had a good con somewhere in Europe, we were getting deployed somewhere. So it was just
there you go,
John, you were
Here's the web.
talk.
Oh, it's in the private chat. Okay.
Oh, okay. John, you were talking about those beds. When I Civil War reenacted, one of the people on our unit, he of course camped with the rest of us soldiers, and he had a little shelter half on tent row, but his wife camped in the civilian section. And they had a big, I think it was either full-size or I think it was full-size bed. The headboard and the backboard looked the same, but the bed frame was all ropes. And you would tighten the ropes to adjust to your comfort level, as if you think sleeping on that could be comfortable.
it's a memory rope bed.
Yeah.
That's a whole different show, Bill. I'm sorry. So basically,
Nothing at all about handcuffs. I'm just talking ropes.
basically, this was a civilian pavilion.
They
Oh Lord.
they had several wool blankets laying on top of it, and I laid on it once before. Surprisingly, it's fairly comfortable. Now, laying on it as opposed to sleeping on it overnight could be entirely different.
I don't know. Have you ever used a net hammock? Not a full canvas cloth hammock, but just one that basically it would double as a fishing net. They are surprisingly comfortable. The trick is anchor your head higher than your feet, and if you are an active sleeper that likes to roll over, it's a good idea to just go ahead and wrap the thing around you like a mummy shroud, because when you roll over, you don't want to be on the open side.
Yeah, I'd be like Gilligan in it
Mhm.
and go flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
John,
I
you know
remember-
who Frosty is, don't you?
The what?
You know who Frosty is.
Yeah.
When he goes to
Right here.
outside con, he strings a hammock between two trees, and above the hammock, he strings another rope and throws a tarp over top of it.
Runs
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
That's standard camping maneuver right there. Yeah. And depending on how much larger the overhead tarp is than your hammock, I mean, you can withstand a pretty good downpour in that without getting wet whatsoever.
Well,
But that's camping.
His runs from tree to tree.
Mm.
My friend, who was in the National Guard for 20-something years, used to go fishing all the time. And, of course,
Does this involve hand grenades?
yeah. No, but I'm surprised that it doesn't. No, I would go with my fishing pole, my tackle box, and a cooler. He would bring an Alice pack full of everything, and he's taking a week's worth. But the one cool thing that he always did, if it would start raining, he would have a poncho with him, but he would tie the head part of the poncho up and make a big lean-to out of it.
Yeah, make a tent out of it. Yeah, that's one of the features of a poncho. And John probably knows this a whole lot better than I do, because he actually had to use the damn things.
Cisco!
Done that.
Poncho! Sorry.
And Donna says, and this is why I camp at the Hampton.
Yep, you're not going to see very many tents with a shower and a flush toilet unless you go to SCA events like Pensacon or something.
In Georgia, which is just east of me, okay, has a bathroom with shower. So that's nice. And each of their camping stands for vehicles has a faucet with water.
Yep. I've been to a few state parks that had water faucet, electrical outlet, and a picnic table. You either park your camping vehicle or you set up a tent, and then within a few yards is a building that has showers and toilets and things like that. And
kind of interesting. They had an RV you could rent, which struck me as a little odd, needless to say. But
hey, damn, I almost bought one a couple of years back. It's like a 40-footer. And I'm going, hey, and it's got a 400 horsepower engine. And Lindsay's going, no, look at the date. Look at how old it is. It's probably got leaks. You probably have to rebuild it. I'm going, yeah, honey, you're right. But let me have the dream for a few minutes.
Well, a lot of these EV people have discovered they can take their charger with them and stop at these state parks and sleep the night in the car and charge and travel across the country.
Mm-hmm. You know, whoever invents one of those battery chargers that also has a drop cord coming off of it to charge your EV is going to make a mint. I mean, that's going to revolutionize roadside camping right there.
Most EVs actually do have the ability to be charged off of a standard 110 outlet. So it's just wherever you can park.
Yeah, just like plugging in a little camper trailer that you tow behind.
Now, I'm still one of those people that I wonder why Honda, especially Honda, hasn't come up with an electric vehicle with one of their generators in the back. A small battery, just enough to get you 50 miles or something like that. And then a smart controlled 10 or 12 horsepower generator, runs for 12 hours on 5 gallons of gasoline.
I think they ought to just put a hole in the floor, kind of like how you would have a sunroof, have a floor roof, and they're for all your EV people.
Yes, and Fred Flintstone, of course, you go through brake shoes like nobody's business.
Well, and your damn horn keeps flying away too.
I'm building an electric car. I'd like 500 hamsters, please.
It now becomes a thing that people are buying some of the older Teslas and putting a gas generator in it, and going 1,800 miles.
I have always wondered why they didn't come standard with something like a leaf blower motor hooked up to a 5-gallon gas tank.
Exactly.
And the motor hooked it directly up to an alternator or generator to recharge the batteries. And I'm going, and if you had regenerative braking, every time you put on the brakes.
Most electric cars have that nowadays.
Hey, but it was a new thing back in the 70s when I first thought of it. Yeah. Thank you, Roger Zelazny. I would never consider that idea. I did not come up with it myself. He did, for a story that later got used partly in Steven Spielberg's Duel and partly in a movie called The Car. And probably everybody else that's done a haunted automobile story
Christine.
Owes a debt. No, Christine wasn't electric. So
it was better.
It was self-driving. Yes, indeed.
It was a Plymouth.
Could have been Plymouth Fury. The last thing you want to see is state trooper driving.
Yeah, buddy.
Speaking of Zelazny, A Night in the Lonesome October, his journal of Snuff, the dog that belongs to Jack the Ripper, and finding out who's openers and who's closers. A one-a-day journal that culminates on Halloween. It's an awesome book if you can find it. And Nick has a wonderful tradition that he sucked me into for a few years. I did it for a few years, and I'd really like to get back into it. It's great because each chapter is a single night in October, and it's just read a chapter a day, and it's just good fun.
But are you having fun?
Zelazny wrote an awful lot of different stories. I mean, way different. He didn't stick to one style. or one subject matter, excuse me. His style was pretty much, uh, I wouldn't say it's the same, but it was easily comprehensible for any reader.
Yeah.
And but there was an awful lot of different subject changes, back and forth and back and forth from book to book. I actually found one at a Dollar General store I had never heard of before, and it's basically um, the brother of somebody that turned out to be a spy got roped into finishing up his dead brother's final mission that he got murdered during. A total out of left field. I mean, if you're used to stuff like Road Marks or Damnation Alley or
Amber.
Amber, yes, thank you. That I was trying to remember the name of the series. You would not expect this from Selazny, but nailed it. I mean, seriously, it's a great little adventure yarn, all the way through.
I saw a movie about where uh, the twin about twin brothers. The super spy twin brother gets killed. They recruit the twin brother to um, go into it. It was about a computer that had taken over.
Hmm. Okay.
I can't remember who was in it.
Well, it wasn't Colossus the Forbin project. I can tell you that one right away because there wasn't a set of twins in that. But there have been several different folks doing world conquering computers for our own good. Not very flexible in the judgment field.
Eagle Eye.
Oh, okay.
That was the name of the movie.
Oh.
I think that was the name of it.
Oh, Donna, for me, roughing it is no breakfast and having to go to McDonald's in the morning for breakfast instead of being able to get it in the hotel.
Yeah, it is Eagle Eye. That's the name of the movie. Has Shia LaBeouf
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
before he went crazy on us.
I was going to say, I thought Eli was a Shia LaBeouf movie. I don't remember the twin aspect of it, though.
Hey, sometimes these things are so close to the setup of the movie in the beginning that by the time the action gets started, you forget about the setup.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a Shia LaBeouf movie, so you're trying to get it out of your brain to begin with.
They don't make that much brain bleach in a year.
Well, he's in the new Indiana Jones movie.
Again?
He's Indy's son.
Again?
Yes.
They didn't learn their lesson last time.
I mean, I love the end of it. Indy's hat gets blown off, and his son picks it up, goes to put
Don't
it
even
on.
think about it, Junior.
Yeah, don't even think about it, Junior. Takes it, puts it on his head.
You'd think they'd at least hired Johnny Depp or somebody that would bring in more money to the franchise.
Johnny Depp was too old by then.
I know.
You know who was supposed to be the new Indiana Jones, don't you?
I'm afraid to
Chris
ask.
Pratt, wasn't it?
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix. Oh,
Yes, they had him.
I could see that. I
He
could
played
see
young
that.
Indiana Jones in Indiana
That
Jones
series.
and the Last Crusade, and then who was the kid that played young Indiana Jones in the series Young Indiana Jones?
River Phoenix.
That's
Which
No.
one? The teenage or the young?
Both.
Sean Patrick Flannery was the teenage Indy, also known for the wonderful enjoyable flick Boondock Saints, and also Powder. And then I don't remember the little kid.
I actually enjoyed that series.
River Phoenix. River Phoenix only played him for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and did a great job.
But they were grooming him to be the next Indiana Jones.
Well, that's like.
And then he OD.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get the kid that played Han Solo in Solo to play Indiana Jones in the upcoming movies.
Oh, that's an idea now.
Now, there was a movie that had Harrison Ford in it about his son dating this girl, and come to find out she was an immortal that Harrison Ford had dated as a kid.
That sounds like an interesting premise right there.
And the
Sabrina?
I can't remember what it was.
No, I think Sabrina was a standard rom-com, basically.
But the kid they got to play Harrison Ford as a 20-year-old damn near looked like a 20-year-old Harrison Ford. You remember the movie, Rich?
I didn't see it, but I know the movie you're talking about. It's one I wanted to put on my watch list. I just never had time for it. Sabrina.
It was? Okay. I remember that one totally wrong.
I was reading somewhere where when Mel Brooks was getting ready to make Spaceballs,
The Age of Avalon.
Brooks went up to Spielberg, and apparently Spielberg told him, and I'm trying to think of the characters, the Han Solo character's name in Spaceballs.
Lone Star.
Lone Star. And they said, whatever you do, Spielberg told Brooks, don't dress him up like Han Solo. So you realize what he dressed him up as. Indiana Jones. With the brown leather jacket and everything.
I put the name of the movie in the private chat. It's Age of Avalon.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So I may have been correct about Sabrina being more
that's an ugly duckling.
A more traditional romance historical piece. Yeah.
Now, are you talking about the classic Sabrina movie from like the 50s or 60s?
The remake they did with Harrison Ford. And,
okay.
Okay.
I couldn't get the connection. I apparently did not see that one. I saw the original.
I saw previews of it when it was coming out, and I go, okay, another rom-com. Okay.
Sorry, 2015.
And it may not even be a rom-com. It might be just a standard romance.
Hey, let's face it, the ultimate rom-com, is Father Goose.
Oh, Lord, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Daddy Longlegs.
You just can't beat that one.
So talk about characters or actors, whatever, getting groomed to be something else. I remember in the last Dark Knight movie with Christian Bale, you had Joseph Gordon-Levitt in there, and which all the rumors was he's getting groomed to be Robin. A few people said Nightwing, but I think because of the direction they were going, he was supposed to be Robin, and then that was it. And then there were no more Christian Bale movies after that.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, they're going to make a standalone movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but of course they never did that either.
Nope. Sometimes you set things up hoping that they'll come out, and events don't eventuate eventually in that direction. So, there are a lot of setups out there in a lot of different movies that were never panned out to be what they had hoped in the beginning.
Oh yeah, there's so many that they laid the groundwork for, and you can they set it up beautifully in the movie for them to be a sequel. The directors and producers are looking for things. Stars are willing to sign on. Studios are just like, you know what? We're bored with this kind of movie. We're going to go in this direction right over here because this is going to make us a hell of a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wasn't getting the backing anymore.
Our research shows that XYZ type of flick is going to it's like you go through the cycle of a bunch of zombie movies are being made, then a few years later there's a bunch of vampire movies, werewolf movies, werewolf versus vampire movies, your classic hunter type movies because I want to say Hansel and Gretel. I will learn how to speak here eventually. It's not like I do it for a living.
Hansel and Grendel.
That'd be an interesting movie.
Hey, there's a crossover.
Yeah,
but Hansel and Gretel, and then Van Helsing and stuff like that. All that came out right around the same time, very close on the heels to each other, at least movie time wise.
Brothers Grimm.
That was another great one.
Hansel and Gretel, The Woodsman. What was it? Help me out here.
Sleepy Hollow, maybe.
Sleepy Hollow.
There he is. Okay.
And I'm talking about the movie, not the dumbass TV show.
There's an interesting take on Sleepy Hollow on YouTube called Headless now. They're 7 episodes in. I don't know how many episodes they plan on doing for a season. But it's a cute little take. A bunch of YouTubers and stuff like that are working together on that, and it's fairly well produced for not being a big studio budget type thing.
There was a video on YouTube that actually they figured out who the Headless Horseman was in real life. He was a British soldier.
A Hessian with aggression.
A Hessian.
I said it before John did, but he was thinking it. Oh God, that's all we need is a Sleepy Hollow prequel.
No, and please do remember that PDQ Bach did an album. It was basically a radio play called Hansel and Gretel and Ted and Alice.
About
if you were
Hansel
in the 70s, you figured that one out already.
Hansel and Greta Van Suskine.
Oh, Lord.
No, I think some of these, and Dan touched on this, that it was just at one time, yes, we're going to do another season, and then, we've going to go in a different direction now,
Really?
and that's all there is to it. They lost the money. Yeah, they lost the backing, and then now, therefore, I hope you enjoy what we put out because there's going to be no more.
Yeah, and then there are things that they're.
Someone did something
Unfortunately-
to piss off the producer's cat, so.
Oh! Look at the glorious absence of a Buckaroo Banzai sequel.
I'm still livid over that.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, the guy that put up the money for the original movie started stealing money, and basically wouldn't let another movie be made because it was one of those Mel Brooks and producers situations where he made more not making the movie than actually making the movie.
I'm trying to remember at the very end of Buckaroo Banzai, it says Buckaroo Banzai will return in Buckaroo Banzai versus the World Crime Organization or something like that.
World Syndicate or something Syndicate, yeah.
The World Crime Syndicate, yes. And that's where all the references to Hanoi Shan came in that were chopped out of the movie. In the editing room. And there is a sequel to the Buckaroo Banzai novel that has just come out this past year. I have not been able to get a hold of a copy yet. It was written by the fellow that came up with the idea for Buckaroo Banzai, Earl Roush. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, if you're watching, I apologize for butchering your name. Damn good book though. I really loved the original. I'm hoping to get my hands on the sequel now that it's out. It may never get made into a movie, and if it did, how the hell do you recast Peter Weller? I mean, you got to find somebody with that
The
kind
World
of
Crime League.
World Crime League, yes.
And strangely enough, they actually already had the actors laid on to play the head of the World Crime League.
Mm-hmm. Just never got to go ahead to do it because the producer was stealing money.
That could be Rouch or Rauch, either way.
Yeah. In either case, he's okay. I mean, eccentric in a good way. He's a very eccentric writer. The story was laid out very well, but if you're not into chapter headings and footnotes, you won't get 30% of the jokes if you just skip all that, because that's where it was really there were references to stuff you didn't know about and stuff you wish you knew about that had not been written yet. But the references were there, enough references to at least flesh out 2 to 3 novels. If you tied all the references together. Yes, I'm that kind of writer. I do pay attention to all the stuff that never happened but was supposed to.
Very first time I read Lake Wobegon Days by Garrison Keillor, all the footnotes that he had, which the footnotes in that whole book was basically the history of Lake Wobegon. And it was things you just really didn't need to know. Now, I love Garrison Keillor's books. I loved his radio show, and hopefully he'll still remain friends with me on Facebook about this. But the footnotes or the amount of footnotes, and basically they were like a book's worth within that one book, just simply weren't needed for that, because I think people were going into the book looking to read about the characters that he was talking about, every week on Prairie Home Companion. and that lived in the mythical Lake Wobegon, Minnesota. And I think that's how a lot of them are. But I saw a wonderful meme today, and I should have posted it in Stupid O'Clock, but the top part of the meme shows above ground, and it shows a well, kind of like a wishing well, but a well with a bucket. And across the top it says the movies. And the bottom part of it shows underneath the ground just this wonderful spring, endless spring water, artesian well, whatever, it just, and across the bottom of the screens it says the books. And I'm not quite certain if that was not in response to certain movies being made these days about classic books or what have you, or whatever, or they were just trying to tell you, hey, if you like the movie, read the book. You're going to get a whole lot more out of the book than you ever will the movie. And that there's more there for you. And there's a few books that I hope that they never make into movies because they're so good, and I don't want to ruin my vision of all these characters and the places and everything while I'm reading the book.
I've read quite a number of books I hope never get made into movies, but not for that reason.
The only one that came really, really close, well, there's been a few, but just the one off the top of my head was the British animated movie of Watership Down.
Ooh.
And it was very much with the same just level of what was going through and with the rabbits, and
that was a very complex movie.
it was a very violent movie. I mean, it was played up almost like it was supposed to be a children's animated feature.
It was very much adult.
No, yeah, it was very close to Richard Adams' book. I mean, almost spot on close.
It was adult situations, not adult content, but yeah. And as you said, much more violent than people were led to believe when they were asked to enter the theater. Yeah, that does happen sometimes, and occasionally it is forgivable, but you don't want to be taking a herd of 4 and 5 year olds to see Watership Down.
I can't remember what rating it had at the theater. If it was, I know it had to have been a PG at the very least.
At the very least, yeah. And naturally, you would not be able to take a whole herd of kids in there, but if for some
or they
reason,
just couldn't go in by themselves.
Well, yeah. If you're a parent and you're got a herd of kids, you might be able to bowl your way through. But this would not be a movie that you would be proud of bullying your way into with a herd of kids. Especially if you had to explain the violent content to them later. Of course, if they just watched Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom while you were growing up, you would have known these things.
They made an RPG out of it? Bunnies and Burrows?
You're kidding me. Oh,
Of course, why not?
What do we got here?
Okay.
John. John's
We were
got
talking
something to
earlier
share.
about staying in a hostel, stuff like this. The one I stayed in, I was wrong. It was not a hostel. It was a pension. And I stayed at Pension Song. And that's it right there. They throw a sign out front. That's the entrance to it. That's the one in Nuremberg.
Okay.
Deckers and stuff.
PG rating, Dan.
Looks like an interesting neighborhood, actually. There, what was it?
Well, it's in the old city. It's in the old city. They don't really.
Yeah.
They have streets and everything, but they don't allow cars in there.
Was that I want to call it a bodega, but that's the wrong word for a little grocery store.
Oh, the
In
no,
Germany.
that was the drugstore. No, it was
Drugstore,
on the
okay.
opposite side of the road was the
Yeah,
drugstore.
yeah.
Apothec, yeah.
Hey, it looked like a grocery store to me, but then I can't read German.
Chances are
So.
they sold a lot of groceries.
Well, hey,
Well, of course, you go to Walgreens or CVS, you can get beer, wine, and ice cream. You know.
hey, in Lake City, Tennessee, if you go to a Dollar General, you can buy beer and wine.
You can get beer. I don't know if they have wine at our local Dollar General. They do have beer.
They don't in this area. They don't have any alcohol license whatsoever. I was very surprised. We checked into a hotel for a family reunion. It was not the usual hotel, and there was a package store across the street, and there was a dollar store about 50 feet up from the front door of the hotel. Walked up there. I was looking for a good cooler, I think, because the one we had brought was enormously too big. I wanted a little tiny one, and all of a sudden I go, they sell my beer here, and it's good price. And hey, I'm going, this is my kind of Dollar General. Yes, I can spend a lot of money here, which is the general idea. The Dollar General idea, spend a lot of money. Yeah. Anyway, we wound up with a place to go to not only get a thicker comforter, but a 12-pack as well. So. And the little package store across the street was nothing to sneeze at. They had stuff that, in a building that size, you would not think their selection would contain. They didn't have a huge amount of anything, but they had a large variety of everything. About like the little place that we went to down the hill from HallowCon, John.
Ah.
Yeah, but about half that size. But with just about the same variety of stuff in it, just didn't have that many individual packages of any one particular thing. So you might be buying the only one in the store till they restock, but if there was something else right next to it, you go, ooh, I wish I could get that too. Oh, heavens.
I'm reading a story that Ryan Reynolds and Colin Hanks' production company, Maximum Effort's going to be making a documentary about John Candy.
Oh, somebody ought to. Really? I mean, as long as it's respectful.
Well, apparently already there's been some tweets from his sister and his children, and they've all had kind of positive responses for it.
Oh, good.
Ryan Reynolds said, be prepared to cry. And he said he wouldn't expect anything less.
Like I said, if they treat the gentleman correctly, if they're respectful, it needs to be done, because a lot of people do not know much about John Candy aside from what they've seen on screen.
Passing.
I didn't know an awful lot besides what I saw on screen as a character rather than himself. So the few things I have gleaned over the years, damn nice guy. Was did not have the happiest of lives sometimes, but everybody's got ups and downs.
Well, I think people kind of, I guess, relate his passing to other, like John Belushi and the Train from Hell that he rode all his life before it derailed, in the same way with Chris Farley.
And
Chris Farley was one of those ones that you didn't really know what was wrong with him, what he was going through, until really it was too late.
And for, one of the things I enjoyed about Farley is Farley owned up that, his big popularity came to the fact that, a lot of people like to see Fatty fall down. And that's exactly why they went to his movies, is for Fatty fall down. And for an individual of his girth, the man was psychotically athletic. He was able to jump up onto a table, where normally, folks my size and stuff like that, we can't do that. And the punishment that he would put his body through just to get a laugh from people. So, I mean, it's not really a surprise that he ended up in the throes of drugs and things like that, because of how much physical pain the man had to be in for doing the physical comedy that he did.
Reminds me. You're saying that reminds me of Shemp from the Three Stooges.
And Mo
put himself through hell for those little comedy shorts, and there were very, very few special effects to be had in those days. So, whatever you saw was real, and it was quite painful.
Yeah, I think it was Mo broke his ribs doing something, and just sucked it up, taped me up and put me back in until we're done with the shooting day, because film costs money.
A table collapsed. He was standing on a table and a table collapsed. That's how he broke his ribs.
Chevy Chase used to do stupid. Well, okay, I don't mean stupid, but he used to do a lot of
falls. Yeah, the
dangerous pratfalls and stuff like that. Yeah, and he too ended up with a massive drug problem because of that. So.
Well, he wasn't actually. People thought he was actually doing a real stunt, and he was just kind of flopping, or just. Grabbing the Christmas tree and going over the side and that. And I know there was one particular one where he said that this one is what really did me in, and that's when he stopped doing all that. But of course, he only survived one season of it anyway.
Yeah, I don't believe that I would be able to do any kind of physical comedy like that, even in my younger days.
In my younger days, I used to do stupid shit like that.
I used to do stupid shit all the time, but I was not trained on how to fall and land. Sometimes I wish I'd taken karate lessons, because at least part of the basics of that is how to take a fall.
It was after drama that I started doing the stupid pratfalls and stuff like that. So at least I had high school education on falling properly and stuff like that. But when I worked at the factory, I'd purposely burn myself on the hot runners that were coming out of the machines and stuff like that, just to get people to laugh and giggle and stuff like that. So I was a get a laugh from people at any expense, kind of person. And Now, dealing with all the fallout from all that, all the injuries that are like, you did this 30 years ago, but guess what? We're back with a vengeance now.
Yeah, really. Um, you remember that broken bone you left off? Welcome to the arthritis.
You can now feel the weather 6 counties over before they know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Three days in advance. That's what my knee tells me. Ah,
And they say that's all psychosomatic.
yeah, it's all in my head, but unfortunately, part of it's in my knee.
Yeah.
Well, considering the brain is in your head and that's what receives the impulses, yeah, it is in your head.
I pretty much look at it. Look, I'm a bioelectric being here. All my nerves are firing. There's this little electrical field around me. It's not very strong. It's not very powerful, but it is very sensitive. So air pressure goes up, air pressure goes down. I know. Storm starts rolling in. There's 3 or 4 different factors that let me know it's going to rain day after tomorrow. I need my cane today. Yeah, it gets more powerful when you've got, um, say, 2 titanium screws in one knee. They conduct much better.
Yeah. Have titanium rods in your back.
Yep, I bet that works a treat.
Oh,
Um, you know when the weather's changing in Texas.
yeah.
I get the feeling I'll be joining the cybernetic army here in the near future.
Well,
I'm really afraid that some hardware might end up going into the shoulder here.
well, as unpleasant as it is to experience while it's being done, and the after effects of, hey, um, yeah, I know when it's going to rain. Believe me, I know well ahead of when it's going to rain. Um, it beats the alternatives of having to be in a wheelchair or on crutches or using a walker all the time.
Or having an arm strapped to the side of your body so that it stays off the. It's no longer weight bearing in the shoulder and then stuff like that. And yeah, it's I can only do half the stuff for the day, and it's yeah.
Yep.
I want it fixed. I know it's not going to be a happy repair, no matter what happens to it.
Mhm.
But if I don't, I mean, it will literally be useless within a couple of years. I mean,
I had to relearn how to do several routine jobs at work because of the broken collarbone from the car wreck in 2007. Um, I can no longer put anything on my left shoulder, any weight whatsoever. It's it hurts to wear suspenders basically to keep my pants up.
wow.
But it takes several hours for the pain to be unbearable.
Curie just
It's
launched a
very
dad
terrible.
joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so bad. I did. That's what I was rubbing my head for. That
Rich will appreciate it.
Leprosy.
You've got a headache.
All my skin is falling off of me. I'm half the man I used to be. All because of leprosy.
Hey, you're going to get us banned.
That's right.
You sang that too long.
yeah.
Yeah,
You can carry a tune, damn it.
from the
I
estate of
can't.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, heavens. I had a subject change here, but now I've forgotten it. Uh, how rarely that happens. Ha ha ha.
Back up. Maybe you had it sitting on the roof and it fell off when you left.
Nope. It's not even on the landing outside the carport. Nope. Somewhere near the Jetsons Skymobile and the Flintstones Pushmobile. Nope. Can't find it. Oh. Well, somebody say something. We can't be totally derailed by Kiri's joke. He'll be offended.
I'd say we blame it on Curie and just don't say anything for the next.
No, we can't blame it on Kiri. He's innocent. We've warped and twisted his sense of humor. He's been exposed to us for way too long. Seriously.
I think I want to change his name to Shecky.
Oh. Now you're showing your age. Okay.
Don't get
the secret to being to get good at C++ is to not bother with C++ and go to another language that's easier to learn.
Heck, C++ is almost as old as I am.
Hey, the secret to getting good at that is to buy a copy of MIRC and try and write your own damn scripts. I did not know that was what I was doing when I started modifying people's all the script kiddies, little scripts for pop-ups and things like that. And I go, oh wow, that's C++. Wow. As long as I don't forget the period at the end, everything works. Or the period at the beginning, everything works.
I heard y'all saying C++. I was thinking high school grades.
Yeah. Yeah, my college degree. Yeah. In other words, we'd like to give it to you, but you didn't earn it.
Well, hey, there are practicing doctors out there that had straight D's.
You know, one of these days I got to figure out what the hell I did to get some of these things in my algorithm.
Okay. What rabbit holes did I travel down?
Okay,
you have to do things to get them in there.
Okay, let me tell you what I
thought they were just issued at birth.
Let me tell you what I just got. I have no idea how this wound up in my Facebook feed. Okay. Gourmet Ugandan vanilla beans, planifolia.
There's a young fellow on my friends list who just had a book published. You didn't happen to like that, did you? Because he is from, I do believe it is someplace in Central Africa. I get on to him every time he tries to talk to me at 2 a.m. I'm going, shouldn't you be asleep?
He just woke up.
Yeah, evidently, yeah. He's like Mike Jimmy. Yeah, it's coffee time for me. No, his book just came out. It's got very good reviews. What was it? Oh, I'm not sure if it's the poetry book or the fiction book because he does both. He does both.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how I started getting the ad for the edibles. Just about every YouTube ad right now is for edibles.
Charity.
Because you mentioned it.
I get a lot for that mud water, and I'm like, I find all these commercials annoying, and I'm never going to use these products. I don't know the way to get those out of my YouTube algorithm like I can out of my Facebook by just going, yes, I've already purchased this, and they're like, okay, we won't bother you anymore.
Well,
Yeah, really.
when I buy
No,
something,
they want you to buy 5 more.
when I buy something on Amazon, hell, I get barraged with ads to buy more.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If I look something up, like, hey, I want to buy this. Where's the best place? For the next 2 weeks, it's nothing but ads for whatever it was.
Go to Google. Okay, bring up a Google, okay, and start typing in stuff you like that Facebook doesn't. Guns, ammunitions, bayonets, explosives, all that sort of fun stuff. Okay.
Oh, and here I've been looking up Betty Page and fun stuff like that. I see my mistake now.
Dan, type in Google vacation spot Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
And all you'll get is, hey, did you drink the water while you were there? Okay.
I get that.
They're great.
already.
They're great for the waters.
Believe me, because of my grandfather being
It's the opposite of holy water.
a deceased veteran from before World War One, and because of some of my mom's brothers being veterans, I keep getting all these things that say I've got a spot reserved in the cemetery in Washington that is just for veterans, and I'm going, dude, I was too young for Vietnam and too old for everything since then. I've never served. Please. And no, they're going, oh, wait, your name is on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. No, not my name. Maybe some guy that was a distant cousin with the same name, but not me. No. And besides, I'm still breathing. Why do you think I've got an email that still works? You know, if I
Don
died
Hollister.
no, it's a Dan Hollifield, and it's not from the local branch of the family. It's from up north, but it's one of those family names that got passed down for generations. That
Dirk McQuickley. All you Monty Python fans will get that reference.
all I've got to say is that I am not deserving of that honor. Please don't. They're the people that are deserving of those honors. I highly respect, and I'm not one of them. So don't get us confused. But,
Well, my dad, being a Korean War veteran, was deserving of it, but he chose to be buried with my mother. So, a lot of people don't go that route, and some do.
Yep.
Okay, I see what happened with that. I was telling you about the gourmet Ugandan vanilla beans. Okay. Apparently, there's some new gourmet food thing, like what do they call it, where they send you the meals.
Meal service like HelloFresh and all that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that, only they send you the ingredients instead of actually sending you the foods. Yeah.
Mhm.
And apparently they've got an advertising blitz on, because I just went to Facebook and I got this slow food group. And
There are several services like that will send you the basic ingredients and go.
They got 10% off on gourmet Ugandan vanilla beans, and then 10% off on Persian saffron, sargal cut, Persian saffron, Megan cut. I wonder if they do that with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Let's see, 10% off dried morel mushrooms, wild something. Ooh, 10% off preserved black summer truffles. Gourmet Mexican vanilla beans. I wonder if they jump.
I don't know. I didn't know that they
Mexican
grew
jumping
vanilla
vanilla.
beans in Mexico. I mean,
yeah.
it seems like it seems like it would be a good environment for it, but
So, how much are the morels?
Let me see. 10% off dried morel, wild mushrooms. I don't know if I want to go. I don't know if I want to click shop now because I never do this.
Yeah, you'll never get off of it.
Oh well, what I do for this show. $13.99 for 15 each.
Depending on the size.
They also
of the
sell it
darn
in
thing,
1 ounce, 2 ounce, 4 ounce, 8 ounce, and 1 pound.
Yeah, I was going to say $13.99 won't get you much.
They got $168 for a pound of them.
Oh no, Ace!
Heck.
You're in a competition with Kiri now.
Oh boy. Well, let's see. Call Carrie Shecky. I got to think of a name for Ace.
Ace Ventura. Pet detective.
Yeah.
Unobjective.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, there's Chris. Somebody was asking about you earlier, Chris.
Yeah, really.
Let me
you have
scroll way
your-
up there.
your fan club was here before you are.
A Facebook user was looking for you.
Moon Angels something or other. I popped over to the Facebook group to look.
Oh, okay. Angel.
A Chris stalker.
Moon Unit Zappa.
No. And today was the
Weasel Zappa.
Dweezil.
today I think
Your
was
box
the
Zappa?
40th anniversary of Valley Girl being released. There was a
That-
couple of things
We're
I
right.
did.
Moon Unit Zappa.
Mhm.
That's why I've
I
been
did
seeing
watch
that
some of it.
video for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I watched it because I'm a Zappa fan. I mean, I've only got like 50 or 60 of his albums, but it doesn't mean I'm an extreme fan.
I don't think this is original video. I think this is one of those reimagined videos that
Oh,
they
the
did
one I
like
saw.
an animated.
Yeah. That's the new official video.
Right.
Okay, let me see.
They had never had a real video for it before.
Okay.
Oh, I thought they did. I thought I saw it on MTV all the time. And
Really?
Moon Unit was on. Or
Yes. Moon married Paul Doucette, who is the drummer and rhythm guitarist for American pop group Matchbox 20 in June 2002. They have one child, Matilda, and they divorced in 2014. Following the death of Zappa's mother, Gail, in October of 2015, it was revealed that her siblings, Ahmet and Diva, were given control of the Zappa family trust with shares of 30% each, while Moon and her brother Dweezil were given
Dweezil.
smaller shares of 20% each.
That was weird.
Well,
I don't have the faintest idea why.
on the bright side, they didn't get stuck with any of the family debt.
Yeah.
One
Well,
of the news stories that just popped up, speaking of Harrison Ford earlier, he is coming to Marvel. Can you
Going to play
guess?
Thunderbolt Ross in one of the
Yep.
in one of the Hulk series. Is it Hulk or Avengers? Because
I'm thinking probably the Thunderbolts.
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 Yeah. Because of John
William
Hurt?
Hurt passing.
William Hurt.
John Hurt was the British actor who actually was a voice in Watership Down. All the strings were tying to each other.
He was the War
Uh,
Doctor.
The War
the War
Doctor.
Doctor and Doctor Who.
The voice of the dragon in Merlin, and Ollivander in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. And the guy who really had a bad stomach ache in Alien.
Yes.
Yeah. And you remember his scene in Spaceballs, don't you?
Oh no, not again.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the best things Mel Brooks ever did right there.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello.
Hello, my ragtime gal.
Yeah, William is a totally different fellow. Altered States, among other many other things.
The Doctor, one of his best roles ever.
1984.
But
Yeah, you know, Michigan J. Frog originally sang that song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah,
William
John
Hurt
Hurt was also in 1984.
Yes.
William Hurt was also in Dark City as the police detective with the accordion,
He was.
and never could figure out why he carried the accordion around with him everywhere he went.
His
but
mother gave it to him.
his mother gave it to him. That's the best reason he could come up with.
But after a while, he wasn't even sure about that anymore. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, after a while, the
knew
basic
it.
premise
He
of that
knew it.
reality got questioned.
he knew it, but he didn't feel it.
Mhm.
So that was the biggest thing with Dark City. So, I'm trying to think. There was something else he did that I really liked. Now I got to look up John Hurt. Damn it.
I think the first thing I ever saw him in was probably Altered States.
Altered States. Yeah, that was the movie that made him famous.
Damn fine actor, though, really. Both of them, actually.
Yeah. But I found that interesting. It's I accidentally moused over the little weather spot down in my system tray there, and then for some reason my news and whatever pane froze, so I had to go kill it. But when the things I kept seeing down there was
Oh, there it
Harrison
is.
Ford comes to Marvel. You won't believe who he replaces.
Yep.
And I'm like, huh? So I had to go looking for that after I fixed the pane taking up half my screen. And that was just a holy shit.
Well,
But they're not going to let you see that video until you have to watch the Progressive Auto ad first.
And John, it's just about your favorite time.
Yes, it is. Actually, it's way past.
And we've got our viewers so trained that when we don't do it, they start telling us.
Really?
Hold the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
Push the button, Max.
There you go. That's the quote I was waiting to get in.
Sedative. A sedative.
Put the candle back. Oh, Lord.
I was trying to remember. Oh, interestingly enough, William Hurt's character in Dark City was Inspector Frank Bumstead. Was he any relation to
Badwood?
yeah, that's let's see here.
Blondie!
There was some movie he was in that I really liked him in, and now I can't find the damn name of it.
Who? Hurt?
Yes,
Oh, like actually we're talking about both.
William side one.
William? What flavor of movie was it? Sci-fi,
Well,
drama?
of course, The Big Chill he was good in. Porky Park.
He was awesome
Now,
in The
hey
Doctor.
guys, we got so used to Dan not being here and sort of stretching, we're bumping into Dan's show now. So we got to say goodnight, everybody.
It's time to touch the face of God.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.